Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're joining from. And thank you everybody for joining a little bit early. We're actually going to start the webinar just a few minutes after the top of the hour to let some people join in late, but we are going to conduct some audio and visual tests. So you probably can see my screen now. Recording has started as well, but just hang tight. We'll start in a few minutes for today's webinar. But in the meantime, we're going to launch a poll, a little bit newer feature with our webinars, for all of you to engage with, kind of see what everyone is working. So let's kick off this poll here with this question. So let's see if I can see what you guys can see. Launch poll. So on the screen, hopefully you guys see a quick poll that you can actually engage with if you can hear my voice. And the question here is your organization currently using an enterprise level analytics platform? So feel free to respond, and that'll kind of help me gauge the audience that'll be joining. Again, we'll be starting in a few minutes. But also there's a chat panel that I encourage you guys, and a questions panel, to drop any comments or questions that you may have, especially if there's any audio or video issues. Ping that in there. Me and my colleagues that are on will try to resolve it as we go. But otherwise, thanks for joining, and yeah, hang tight, we'll start soon. Also, for the InfoTrust team that is on, may ask for you to hop on mute if you are not already. Oh, and then last update. Man, I have so many updates to kick this off. There are some handouts, so also feel free to check those out. A little bit of content about InfoTrust, who we are, and why we're giving this presentation as well. We already have a question that I can answer immediately. How long will this presentation be? So we're targeting only 1 hour, 60 minutes, and I have a lot of content. It's really passionate about this topic, so we might go right up to the hour, but I'll say this a few times, but the presentation is being recorded. The slides will be shared. So even if we do go right up to the hour or a little bit beyond, all that content will be shared with you. But I will try my best to keep it under that 1 hour and field questions as we go. So feel free to post those. And it's a good question. Thank you. And those that have just joined, we'll be starting in probably 1 or 2 more minutes. You should see a quick poll on your screen, so we'd love for you to pop in there, add your reply, see what enterprise level analytics platform you're using. It'll help me kind of gauge the audience as we go through. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started just because we have a lot of content today. So thank you everyone for joining. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're dialing in from, and welcome to today's webinar presented by InfoTrust. I have a poll showing on the screen right now. I'm going to leave up for just about 10 more seconds. Would love for you to interact with that if you haven't already, just to let us know if you're using an enterprise level analytics platform, or from the results I see, there is a smaller percentage of you that are using other tools or not using an enterprise level tool today. So I'd love to hear from you guys, maybe via the chat panel or questions panel in GoToWebinar, what else you guys are using besides you know, GA360, Adobe Analytics, and that suite. Just generally, what are the tools you're using today? That's really helpful. But looks like the majority that have joined do use GA360, so this will probably be very relevant. So let me go ahead and end that poll and kick off the webinar. As a reminder, this webinar is being recorded. Slides will be shared out afterwards. And as we go through this about 1 hour webinar, feel free to pop in questions or comments in the chat or questions panel. We'll have a few more polls as we go throughout, but let's go ahead and jump in. So let me share my screen. Oh, and if there's any audio or video connectivity issues, please let us know. We'll try our best to resolve those as we go through the webinar. So let me present. Great. So for today's topic, we're going to be talking about Analytics 360 and the Google Marketing Platform, an overview of some capabilities and the value with using the entire suite. It's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. as we work with lots of enterprise level organizations to strategize and deploy Analytics 360. So who am I? Who's speaking? My name is Amin Shaki, and I will be presenting today. My title is Head of Growth. I'm based in Chicago, Illinois, but I've been with InfoTrust for a number of years across our various offices in Cincinnati, in Dubai, and I've worked with global enterprise level organizations across multiple industries, CPG, multi-brand, e-commerce. We support thousands of sites annually because of our clientele that are global and multinational. And we do these types of webinars and trainings all the time. So at the very end of today's presentation, I'll talk about some other events, free content, and webinars that we'll be having for you to definitely join in, continue the conversation. But really excited to have you guys join today to learn together about Analytics 360, the GMP, and all of that together. So a little bit about InfoTrust. I mentioned we have multiple offices around the world, and we essentially help organizations with measurement. So anything from strategy and compliance and building the measurement framework all the way to implementation, technical architecture, testing, validation, insights, optimization, really anything that goes with digital measurement. InfoTrust, we play in that field. We have lots of certifications. We're closely partnered with Google, but also other vendors and technology providers. These are just a few shown here, and we'll talk about which one of these products are actually included in the Google Marketing Platform, how they integrate, the value between them. But we also have our own technology, such as Tag Inspector, which is more in the data validation and monitoring compliance space as well. Again, supports our measurement solution offering, if you will, or expertise. And we work a lot with CRM systems, primarily Salesforce, CDPs, Blueconic, and other tools that really are designed to give that full measurement capabilities to our clients. So for today's webinar, we have this agenda here for Analytics 360 and GMP. The first section is just talking about Google Analytics 360, Google Marketing Platform. What's the hype? Why should you care? And what's it all about high level? Then we'll talk into specifics around how Analytics 360 and the GMP together allow smarter, faster insights, enhanced capabilities. We'll transition to advanced attribution, audience building. It's one of the core principles with the entire platform. And then we'll talk about how we've worked with organizations to get started with the suite or consider migrating or potentially upgrading to Analytics 360. And what does that look like? Some considerations, things you can take away with your team and your organization as well. Again, if there's any questions or other topics that you guys would like us to cover, feel free to post in the chat or questions panel. May not get to it today. Hopefully I will if it's relevant, but we'll definitely follow up separately if you're interested in having a continued conversation around any topic discussed today or otherwise. So let's start with what's the hype with Analytics 360. And before I get into specifically the technology and the products, I like to always take a step back when working with our different clients and organizations to understand what's the purpose with just digital measurement, and what's the strategy or approach that should be taken when even thinking Analytics 360, is it right for our organization? Are we using it the best way? The way we look at it is we try to break it down into different components. Are we doing measurement right? We look at, well, what are the 6 Ps of digital analytics in your organization? What's the purpose with measurement? What are the people, platforms, and processes that contribute to having data-driven culture or mindset within your teams? And what is the pace and payoff with any tool that you're leveraging, particularly an enterprise level platform like Analytics 360 or the entire suite, because these are designed for enterprises, so they're definitely lofty in price, but tons of capabilities. So we always like to start our relationships understanding what's the strategy, the measurement framework in this methodology here. We've written some articles published on Forbes and Forrester around how we go through this, but when we think about measurement strategy and what type of technologies or platforms can help drive measurement within your organization and these key aspects, we think the Google Marketing Platform has a distinct advantage. There's other great enterprise tools out there as well, but The reason we've seen organizations use Google Marketing Platform, which includes Google Analytics, are some of the reasons shown here. Google has really strong technology. It's designed for scale, for fast insights, getting to decisions accurately. There's advanced feature, audience targeting, integrations, I think is one of the core focuses by Google. Every year when we go to the summit or work with our Google partners, it's just more integrations and more data flowing, data sharing, which we'll talk about a little bit. And not only just for unlocking capabilities to reach more of your customers or audience, but also so there's less data loss. In the new world that we're in right now and entering even more with GDPR and privacy regulations, ITP, all of that stuff that is making measurement online more difficult, might as well go with a marketing platform that allows as much sharing as possible within the tool set so that there's less data loss. That's really the perspective with Google Marketing Platform, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. And then with any enterprise platform or solution set, centralized management and at scale permissions and things of that nature, all enabled within the marketing platform as well. And I think one of the main advantages with the Google Marketing Platform is that it goes across some aspects of digital marketing. So this is a nice slide just to show that there's lots of tools. I'm sure you guys, everyone joining is very aware that there's so many technologies and platforms and tools to do so many different things. And oftentimes platforms are being acquired or going bankrupt or what have you. But with the Google Marketing Platform and what Google's trying to do is touch on all these aspects so that it's really seamless to run your digital marketing and customer engagement online. So the specific unified ad or advertising marketing technology ecosystem within the GMP, these are the core products that are included. Now, of course, there's more products that flow into this model like Bigquery or Google Ads, et cetera. But when we think about the Google Marketing Platform and the specific technologies included in that suite, these are the ones. So we have search ads, display and video 360, campaign manager, that's more on the advertising side of things. With the on-site measurement, you have Analytics 360, of course, which we'll talk extensively about today. Tag Manager for deploying your tracking in pixels, Data Studio, Optimize. These are all tools within the Google Marketing Platform. Again, other tools still integrate seamlessly with Google Analytics in this whole suite, such as Google Ads and Bigquery, but these are the core ones. When we talk about a Google Marketing Platform suite of products or partner, these are the tools that are supported within this. Question just came in about if we're going to share the deck. Yes, absolutely. Recorded, shared, deck will be shared. I'm sure we'll get this question again as we go. So absolutely. So that's a little bit about the Google Marketing Platform. Now, specific Analytics 360, for those that may be using it today or may not, just wanted to give a quick overview of what this is all about. It's the analytics or the on-site measurement tool within the Google Marketing Platform. And it's deployed on your websites or mobile apps, can work on both. And it collects data around your users' interactions on your site, on your app, products they're engaging with, details about their sessions, their page views, their screens. There's lots of reports, over 250 automatic attributes collected in dimensions or metrics, along with a slew of capabilities around customized tracking that you can capture about your users or their engagement. With the Google Marketing Platform, there's even more data accessibility outside of just what's tracked on-site or in-app, what users are doing, but what ads have they been exposed to, the impressions, the clicks, various other data points that come from other sources can also be flown into Analytics 360. So we'll talk a little bit more about some of these capabilities, but for a deep dive on just GA and a training of that tool, there's a lot of resources on our website and future content that we can put together if you guys are interested. So please let us know. Question just came in, and I like to field them as they go and make sure that they're relevant. So good question just came in. Do you feel this is an effective tool for social across multiple channels? So Analytics 360, it's a good question. The primary use for Analytics 360 is capturing interactions on your digital platforms, meaning your websites, your applications that you can control. That's the primary use case for Analytics 360. So when it comes to tracking social, clicks from those social sites that land on your website or result in a mobile app installation, Analytics 360 can definitely show those interactions, as well as on-site or in-app users that interact with social plugins or things that you've developed that connect with social channels. You can configure Analytics 360 to capture that data as well. Now, to see data around, let's say, Facebook likes and reshares and things that really exist within the Facebook platform itself, Analytics 360 itself is not designed to capture that type of data. Click-throughs to the website or even imported data into Google Analytics around your cost or impressions of those advertisements potentially, or whatever marketing you're doing, you can bring that into Analytics 360 and it can live there, but by default or automatically, capturing likes and reshares, things of that nature that typically happen only in the social channels. Google Analytics is not designed for that. So it really depends on the use case. I know that's a high-level answer, but depends on your use case, what you're doing with social and how you want to see it. Now, Analytics 360, a big portion of today's webinar, we'll talk about attribution. And GA is very equipped to look at multi-touch attribution, data-driven attribution. We'll go deeper into that, which incorporates social traffic landing on your website or app. There's another question. Do we manage all aspects of the GMP, media planning, media execution, measurement, optimization? Yes, except media. We don't actually run media campaigns at InfoTrust. So we're primarily on the measurement side, which incorporates optimization through Optimize, tagging, even audience building, audience strategies. But we work a lot with our agency partners to actually implement changes with advertising campaigns. We don't manage media. We don't run media for our clients directly. We help influence and work together with our clients and their partners to do that. Great questions, very early. I like the engagement from the crowd, so keep it coming. To continue on a little quickly, just to showcase, Analytics 360 has all the same capabilities of Google Analytics, the free version. So for those that might not be familiar, Google Analytics free, it's the most popular web analytics platform in the world because it's provided by Google, very robust, has all these capabilities. Analytics 360 has all the same capabilities, just with a lot more processing power and reports and integrations available. And it really covers the enterprise needs. So a lot of the things that enterprises or big organizations look from their technology suite, GA360 and the marketing platform covers. So more control, support included, customization, intelligent tools, some of the things we'll touch on today. That's all within the Google Marketing Platform and Analytics 360. Where with GA free, really amazing product, lots of reports, but really doesn't have that extra enterprise focus, support, and all the capabilities as well that we'll talk about today. And of course, security, reliability, these are things that are non-negotiables for big enterprises, and Analytics 360 with Google has, and with a reseller such as ourselves at InfoTrust, all of these are baked into the agreement, the product license. So uptime and SLAs and things of that nature, it's all included, it's all baked in as well with Analytics 360 as a product. Now, one point of clarification, not to go into too much detail, but the Google Marketing Platform is the name of the entire suite and separate products. However, when engaging with Google or us as a reseller, the individual products have their own license agreements. So even Google Analytics 360 and Tag Manager 360, these are technically two different licenses, two different contracts. They're two products, but they all reside within the marketing platform suite, if you will. Even though Google Tag Manager 360 sometimes bundled, same with Optimize with Analytics 360, they're still separate agreements and licenses. So to summarize, some of the key value adds that we've seen with GMP and Analytics 360, which was very difficult to do in one slide, mind you, the integrations and complete solution to tackle digital marketing. I think GMP and Analytics 360 is really strong in that case for measurement. Talked a lot about the enterprise capabilities, functionality, so don't need to touch on that. And we'll get into some advanced attribution, powering marketing, audience building, and sharing to really make it scalable, make it simple, make it fast, get to your insights, get to your decisions, and grow your business. That's really the premise with GMP. So our perspective, there's lots of amazing enterprise suites and technologies out there that can do really awesome measurement and analysis within them. But with marketing platform, I mean, it's in the name. It's built for marketing, built to power growth, acquire new customers, re-engage them, make sure they have a really good experience with you online. That's really where we see the power coming from Google Marketing Platform itself. So we have time for another poll, I believe. What would you say is your most important enterprise analytics or marketing solution capability? So give me 1 sec. I'm going to launch this poll. Launch. And we'll just spend maybe 30 seconds to give everyone an opportunity to add an answer to this poll. And I'll share what is the most answered. If you put other, please type in the chat panel or questions what other is to you, because I know there's only a few options shown. So we'll give it about 5 to 10 more seconds. Appreciate those that have replied. I see the results coming in live. Hopefully some engagement is fun, a different thing for a webinar that you guys might be joining. Okay, so let's close the poll. But essentially, at least for the audience on the webinar today, the majority of you selected advanced attribution for deeper analysis as the most important capability or business case. So it sounds like we got a lot of marketers, advertisers, agencies potentially on the call. So thank you for that. And then it's a really even split between the other two, integrations and enterprise capabilities. But the majority is definitely advanced attribution and very little to no other. So again, thanks everybody for providing those answers. Let's go back to the slides. It's really interesting. So we will spend some time, maybe I'll spend a little bit more time on the advanced attribution and go a little bit quicker through the integrations that we have coming up. So let's talk a little bit about smarter insights, or smarter and faster insights with the tool set. So Google Analytics, with InfoTrust and our clients, we spend multiple days and lots of hours training our clients on how to use the reports, how to build custom dashboards, custom segments, and all these things. But really, Google is trying to incorporate more and more machine learning powered automatic insights. And that's, I think, one of the items that's big on just Google's roadmap as an entire organization, but specifically with their measurement platforms. So there's more and more capabilities now where you can ask human questions, not specific commands about your data, what's happened, and Google will reply to you what that answer is, and maybe even suggest some other reports or automations that can be done. Now, with our team, we have a discovery data science team, and I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that they've done, but taking analytics data out and running our own models and machine learning as well, that's part of the capabilities. And that's why Google Analytics 360 allows so many APIs on sample data and exporting out so that you can run some of these advanced insights as well. Now, for those that might not be able to keep up with all the innovations and changes in Analytics 360 or create really robust audience targeting, there's also some capabilities where Google tries to do the legwork for you. So smart lists, smart goals, and some of the advanced reports that show you users are most likely to convert. They even show you session quality or conversion probability. These are all new metrics that you can leverage with analysis in GA to see, based on the campaigns and things that you're running, what are the ones most valuable or most likely to grow our business automatically for you. So that's all included within Analytics 360 as well. Talking about integrations, so we see this as one of the main use cases with Analytics 360, particularly if you're using Campaign Manager, Search Ads 360, Display and Video 360, or Salesforce Marketing Cloud or Sales Cloud. All these other tools and marketing that you're doing externally, bringing that and connecting it closer with Analytics 360 provides a lot more value and capabilities. So not only does it improve attribution, particularly with Campaign Manager or Display Video 360, getting some impression data in GA automatically, like you could with Google Ads with the free version, but also provide some insight on where you can start engaging with your customers and other channels with the audience sharing and also improving their customer experience. So overall, we see integration, bringing that data together is really useful. Google tries to make it super easy, at least with the tools that they own, with their integration center. So there's some content online about the Google Marketing Platform Home, the integration center that you can essentially log into and automatically connect your accounts if you're a dual admin or have those rights across. And what's valuable here is that you can see across your organization, particularly if you're an enterprise multi-brand, have lots of different sites and brands that you have to manage, all in one place, seeing what tools are in place, which ones are connected or not, and managing that centrally. That's really a key advantage here that Google's continuously improving and building out. So you can decide what type of data flows and shares or integrations you want to have in place and what's the current status. We have a few more recent, we'll say in the last year or two, projects where we have worked with our clients to get a really clear view of all their integrations, brands, and platforms together, and the Marketing Platform Home only helps with that. It was really built because of that need from enterprises. So we wanted to, or I like to show this kind of summary slide, and we'll go into a little bit more detail for each on just how the data flows and how the integrations work between the different systems, where Analytics 360 is kind of the home, if you will, or the center where data collection and measurement can occur. Campaign Manager is very strong as well with the floodlight tracking if you have it properly deployed on your website for conversions, but then also because it's managing the media, you can get a lot of insights around offsite interactions. But when you connect these two, and with Analytics 360 integrating closely with Optimize or Salesforce, you can pass these external data sources all the way through the flow and also power a lot of your audiences and customer journeys accordingly as well. The reason we like to call Analytics 360 as kind of the center of this puzzle is because with all data collection flowing through Analytics 360, you can have unified or consistent targeting for your customers across channels. So instead of them seeing some messaging or engaging with your brand in one way offline with search ads and display video 360 and such, but also on-site with Optimize 360. And then you can visualize it all together in Data Studio, incorporate your offline interactions, CRM data as well. That's all capabilities available here with the stack. I mentioned before, one of the reasons that Google Marketing Platform has a really strong advantage is data fidelity, or ensuring that there's minimal, if no, data loss as users are interacting with your brand across different platforms. And again, with ITP and GDPR and all these regulations coming up that are making measurement more challenging, probably better for the end consumer, for debate, we'll say. It's really important to have a solution set that is focused on consumer privacy, at the same time enabling advertising and customer engagement in a way that's responsible. So with Google Marketing Platform, it's a single cookie space, it's deduped conversions, it passes data seamlessly between different platforms and channels so that it's less likely that you'll have data loss or have inconsistent and broken customer engagement as well. So that's a key value point there. So now we're going to go into some specific integrations, but first there is a question. How Floodlight Tag collaborates with the GA e-commerce tracking? Will I see Floodlight numbers in GA if GA e-commerce is not set? It's a good question. If I understand it correctly, the question is around Campaign Manager Floodlight tagging, which is Campaign Manager's way of collecting data off the site, like conversions, interactions, things of that nature. And the integration with GA, where Floodlight data will appear in the conversions reports and the attribution multi-channel funnel reports. So in short, if I understand the question correctly, you do not need Google Analytics e-commerce tracking to use the attribution, multi-channel funnel, and conversion reports, which is where the floodlight data would appear. As long as you have some conversions set up, like goals, if you have goals configured in GA, those reports are active or are available. Specifically attribution, multi-channel funnel reports, which is where floodlight data appears. Now, without e-commerce tracking, you won't have the e-commerce specific reports. So if there's any overlay or when there is overlay with campaign manager dimensions or metrics, those reports won't be activated because there's no e-commerce tracking. But specifically for attribution, for multi-channel funnel, to see campaign manager floodlight data in those reports, having goals set up is useful so that those reports are active. Honestly, I don't know of a client of ours that has no goals or conversions set up in GA, but has campaign manager with floodlight data integrated, if that would still appear. Because all of our clients across the board, we always have conversions set up, whether they're e-commerce or not, just with goals, first and foremost in GA. So those reports are always active and available. And then we integrate floodlight data and it always appears as long as there's conversions. So it does not require specifically e-commerce, just conversion tracking for those attribution and multi-channel funnel reports to exist. Okay, the next couple slides are about specific integrations. I've left this one up on the screen for a minute while I was answering the question, but essentially Salesforce has a few modules that can integrate with Analytics 360 to pass data between the two. I think the next slide explains it a little bit better with Analytics 360 specifically and the partnership with Google, where essentially Sales Cloud, which is one module or product within Salesforce, and Marketing Cloud both can flow data in and out of Analytics 360. Sales Cloud, this is essentially a tool for more B2B businesses or one-to-one interactions with leads and driving them to become opportunities. Any offline interactions that occur with those prospects as they become customers that are captured in Salesforce by your sales team, that can be passed back into Google Analytics 360 and stitched with their online interactions, online sessions, with a little bit of configuration. The value there is then you can see visually users that may start online coming from digital media, but actually end up closing or becoming your customers offline and tracked within Salesforce Sales Cloud. The reason I show this is that it's an automatic integration. With a little bit of configuration, this will be, the data will be passed seamlessly as your sales team is updating Salesforce. Now there's other CRMs out there, of course, and Analytics 360 has capability to connect via API, and that's a lot of work we do with our engineering team. But Salesforce is kind of more turnkey, set up all in the UI for that purpose. The Marketing Cloud, that's our email marketing system. I think it's what ExactTarget has become, which when they were acquired. And this is a two-way integration where marketing data from Salesforce Marketing Cloud can enter into GA360 beyond just click sessions, source meeting campaign, things of that nature, but also some of the pre-click or pre-session data as well can be available in the reports. And then as well from GA360, probably the most powerful capability is building audiences and targeting based on your data in analytics in Salesforce Marketing Cloud for specific email campaigns. So again, if you're already using audiences in GA to power AdWords, retargeting, or DV360, you can now also power retargeting in Marketing Cloud for those specific customer segments and based on data you tracked in GA. That's really powerful enhancement to this integration since you can have your email marketing be much more specific. On the reporting side, some reporting integrations. This is a quick visual just to show how data can be passed between systems. Hopefully it's not too confusing, but essentially Analytics 360 has all the integrations where data can flow in, experiment data from Optimize 360, campaign information from all these advertising platforms, all combined together, and then it can be connected to Data Studio to visualize as well your different reports. So Analytics 360, it can ingest data from all these tools with automatic integrations that Google handles in the background as far as maintaining it, ensuring that the data flow goes within it. But again, there's a lot of APIs both data import and with measurement protocol. You can add even more information to Analytics 360 from other sources, but then the maintenance would have to be done either on your side or with your partner, such as InfoTrust, where all these tools are managed and maintained by Google. Another question, how does InfoTrust charge for services? Great question. I'm actually going to save that to the end, if that's all right, or one of my colleagues can respond to you in the meantime as well. But I like the question. Thank you for it. We'll circle back on that one. So that's kind of the overview of the reporting integrations within the GMP and various products. As far as actually activating the data, taking Analytics 360 to the next level and actually driving some performance or improvements around your channels, there's different signals, bidding, integrations that can occur as well. So with Analytics 360, the goals, transactions, the conversions I mentioned before, those can be passed into Search Ads 360 to optimize and maximize your bid strategy. And really with any of these tools, you can use that data there, pass it to the algorithms that run in the other systems and drive that further. Same with Campaign Manager and DV360. With bid strategies, they can be improved when these integrations are in place. Oh, good question. Can you integrate Facebook data into this? So the reason I'm taking a pause, I'm trying to see what I'm allowed to share versus also what I'm confident to share without Google potentially changing some of the roadmap. What I'll say is that yes, social has, like Facebook, it can be managed, or some media can be managed within Campaign Manager, some within Search Ads 360. The details to that is conversation for a different time, and with Google directly on those capabilities. But there is some social integrations with Campaign Manager and Search Ads 360 for managing those ad campaigns. To what level, to what extent, that's, I think, a work in progress. And Google knows that's a big gap that they have within the digital marketing ecosystem. Lots of organizations are obviously going to advertise on Facebook. How do they incorporate it and integrate it well? But again, as far as what is true and definitely possible is for clicks onto your site or app that are captured within Analytics 360, that data can be used for powering attribution, audiences, bidding strategies, and then also it can be overlaid further by pulling in those Facebook metrics into GA. For example, if you're running advertising on Facebook to drive to your website, but you still want to bring in more data from Facebook that typically only lives in Facebook, impressions is a good example, or cost of your ads, your spend. You can bring that data into GA with an automated API script. This is something that we've built before, we maintain for a lot of our clients, so that in one place you have the full visibility of return on ad spend, just total spend compared to conversions and interactions all together, and then leverage those in bidding strategies and other tools. So that is possible. That's a little bit more technical than this webinar, but that capability is there. As far as managing media within these tools, also a different topic, and probably want to continue with Google on that point. Okay. The last point that I wanted to share, I think, with the integrations is Bigquery. So Bigquery is another Google platform that is essentially a database, data warehouse where you can store, when integrated with GA360, unsampled hit-level data from your website or app, any property you have in GA360, and there's a credit. So if you are an enterprise customer of GA360 with Google or a reseller, you do get a credit, 500 USD per month for Bigquery. That's for storage and querying and all the above. None of our clients, from my experience, have gone over this on a consistent basis. It really depends on how much you're processing. From a storage perspective, this is billions of hits, so it depends on your volume, if you will. But Bigquery integration with GA is very valuable. It's not technically part of the GMP. It's part of the cloud solutions that Google provides, but they are closely integrated just with GA, but also other platforms or tools as well. I think we have time for this poll, but then we'll have to kick it up a notch. I'm going to launch this poll now to see, based on everything we said, or just based on your day-to-day, what's the most important type of integrations for you? And please, if you put other, we would love to hear more. Like what type of things are you trying to integrate or you have in place that have been super valuable. But yeah, we'd love to know what integrations are important to you, or just doesn't matter a specific one, just the flexibility to integrate whatever that's important to you. So I'd love to hear your replies, and we'll leave this up for about 10 more seconds, just being conscious of time here. All right, well, thank you for those that have voted. Keep voting. I'm gonna leave this up as I talk through what I'm seeing as the results. About 50% of all respondents are saying flexibility. So again, doesn't matter what tools, I just wanna make sure I can integrate my tools, bring that data together. That's most important, which is really what we see when we talk to our clients, because every organization is different. There's legacy systems, there's new systems, ecosystems are always changing, so flexibility is definitely key. The second most important is Google advertising tools and that seamless integration between them. And then just behind that, CRM. Very few databases and no other as being important. I think for the crowd we have, again, marketing, advertising, that does make sense. So thank you to those that voted. I will close that poll and go back to the slides. Cool, so let's talk about attribution with the Google Marketing Platform and these products. So I like this slide that Google has that basically explains the various tools in attribution, because Google has these capabilities across multiple platforms. In fact, they built a whole new tool that sort of has launched, sort of has been killed. Let's not talk about that. This slide here shows you kind of the summary of the current tools and the value proposition for each when it comes to attribution and data-driven analysis, if you will, and the layers that you can go between. And again, because of this is why we like to say or push for Analytics 360 as kind of the core of your data-driven strategies for media and analysis, because it incorporates any website data, any platform outside of the GMP or the integrated tools. Campaign Manager can still show paid media and anything included within it, or trafficked through media through Campaign Manager. And then it gets a little bit even more specific with search ads is just search engines that you have facilitated or managed within it, and the Google Ads is directly for Google Ads as well. So we like to use Analytics 360 for that. However, cross-device measurement is possible with the Google platforms, Google properties, using Google's deterministic model. And we have seen that Campaign Manager has cross-device measurement. They've had it for a while, where Google is just now, Google Analytics, sorry, is getting this rolled out with the release of Google Signals in the last year that you can approve with your legal privacy teams to enable some cross-device measurement in analytics and use those for audience targeting as well. But essentially, Google has a really powerful device graph to use within cross-device measurement. There's also capabilities with Analytics 360 to have cross-device measurement for your logged in users, and we like to encourage all of our customers that have login or account sign-up capabilities to do that, because it brings together cross-device attribution in that regard. But just note that in Analytics 360, cross-device measurement for the attribution multi-channel funnel reports is not automatic. By default, it's single browser-based. So the attribution reports multi-channel funnel is where users are coming to your platforms from the same browser by default. But you can leverage these with the GMP and with Google Signals to see that further. Now, speaking of the attribution capabilities within Google Analytics itself, there's really powerful tools, both on the free version, but definitely on the Analytics 360 Enterprise version. And I see a comment or a question come in, but I'll circle back to that. With GA360, there's data-driven attribution. And what that is essentially a Google-based algorithm or attribution model that's built from an algorithm that takes your data from your Analytics 360 property, where people are coming from, the conversions, the frequency, the order. It builds a model of how to attribute conversions and credit to those different channels at different touch points by looking at likelihood to purchase. And the way we've used that is you can compare your data-driven attribution model compared to your normal model, whether that's last click, last non-direct click, linear, however you do your modeling to attribute conversion credit, putting that side-by-side data-driven attribution and seeing what insights there are. Are there some campaigns or channels or sources of traffic that are more valuable using the data-driven algorithm-based model versus your normal model that potentially would lead you to tweak your model or just test different changes to your campaigns and advertising to see if you can drive more conversions and engagement from your customers. This is all available within GA360, and even with the data-driven attribution being created by Google and their algorithms, you can still see how they weight the different conversion credits. They expose it for you, and you can even download the model and tweak it accordingly, however you like. All right, so beyond just the built-in capability of data-driven attribution, there's also an opportunity to go beyond that and look at customer lifetime value. And this is something that we do a lot for our customers that are ready for this point. They've been using, they've been doing advanced analysis, they've been doing attribution, but they really want to target the most profitable customers. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of their business comes from 20% of their customers that are most engaged, highest value. How do we do more to get in front of them, give them what they need versus waste our ad spend on the others that are just browsers, or still engage with them to keep awareness, but really focus and hone in our investments into those that are converting the most and a lifetime customer. So we have, with our data science and discovery team, put together some different models, and we can apply it to not only measure customer lifetime value based on predicted spend, not just historical, or likelihood to continuously convert, but also apply that in the reporting and in audience retargeting. So again, we can bucket the customers coming to your platforms by highest value, lowest value, according to this, and change our strategies of what we present to them on-site with Google Optimize or off-site with advertising based on their value to the business, to the organization. And this is just a quick export or visual from our data science team on how this would work. Happy to talk more about this. This could be its own session and training separately, but customer lifetime value using Google Marketing Platform and BigQuery together to run these models is a really strong value add with these tools. Let's do a time check. Got about 12 minutes, so gotta go quick. The next, I think this might be the last portion of this section, is around audience targeting and some of the capabilities. So with Display Video 360 and Google Ads and other Google tools that are where you actually manage your media, for those agencies or marketers on the call, there's a lot of signals. There's a lot of data that you can use for audience targeting, just based on data that Google has available to you, but also the integrated platforms like Analytics 360 or Floodlights or what have you. With Analytics 360 remarketing, you can use first-party data, aka interactions customers are having with your own platform, your websites, your apps. As I mentioned before, there's over 250 data points automatically collected by Analytics 360 that you can use to do retargeting, as well as a slew of custom attributes if you've set that up. So custom dimensions, custom metrics, your event tracking, all of the details that you have set up for measurement within Analytics 360 and for attribution or insights, you can also pass into Analytics 360. There are limitations and caveats, of course, to what can be shared due to privacy and thresholds that need to be met. But for the most part, Analytics 360 is really robust for data collection and then activating it outwardly on your other tools like DV360 or Google Ads specifically. So similar to previous slides, wanted to show a quick summary of the audience sharing capabilities, and showing Analytics 360 plugs in and integrates with all of these various different tools. Optimize and Google Ads also have a direct integration, so advertising you're doing on search, Google search, you can have customized landing pages and tests connected to it, but you can also use Analytics 360 as that conduit to be able to do that. So audience sharing, audience strategy, and targeting, this is a really big trend, I guess now, especially as Google and other systems are bringing their tools together and merging them under a suite. This is really the value and activation piece of that that we find. I mentioned before that Analytics 360, it plugs into Salesforce, plugs in these other tools, but it also has capabilities to bring data in. You can do this in Google Cloud, like in BigQuery, but even just with GA360, there's ability to import or send in CRM data to then customize your targeting, your analysis, and then showcase different advertising accordingly. A couple of our clients do this with the data import feature. A couple do it directly with the measurement protocol, meaning from their CRM systems or their back-end customer service rep systems. When they're engaging with their customers and documenting what's happening, it shoots data into GA, integrates it together, and then becomes available for targeting as well through some matching. So that's all possible. Summarizing a very quick, not gonna spend too much time here, but just lots of characteristics, lots of metrics and dimensions are available once you integrate and bring these tools together. So don't want to go through this slide by or like point by point, but just know that when you connect your systems together, there's a whole slew of new metrics and dimensions available across the different platforms within the Google Marketing Platform itself. I wouldn't do justice to the Google Marketing Platform without talking more about Optimize, their A/B testing and personalization platform, and really what it's all about. It was one piece of the puzzle that Google knew they were missing a few years back when they were creating this. It's on-site testing, experimentation. So they had really robust measurement tools and advertising tools, but that piece there of, well, how do we test changes to our website based on the analysis, based on the data collection, and based on our advertising? And that's where Google Optimize came about. True Google fashion, it's easy to use. It has a visual editor. It's really plug and play, and they're making strides to make that workflow much more simple. And we work in this every single day along with other A/B testing platforms. You can import goals, conversions from Analytics 360 or create your own, though, or just from Google Analytics free for that matter to get started, though there's more limitations with the free integration. And then you can connect it with your ads as well to have that seamless, consistent audience targeting and just audience strategy across all your platforms. It's pretty quick to set up, particularly if you've invested a lot of time or just have a really robust and clean Analytics 360 architecture with the events and data attributes. The best part is that, well, while it says no coding required, that means you don't have to always add JavaScript to the site to make changes for the A/B testing tool. You can put it all within Optimize, both visual editor or custom JavaScript, HTML, and Optimize itself. But the targeting of those experiments can come from Analytics 360 as well as the measurement. So Optimize itself has algorithm-based reporting to show probability of experiment variant being the winner, as well as results at the end of an experiment, what happened, which conversions led to the most impact, and which variant was deemed the winner and why. But you can take that into Google Analytics as well and build segments and do reporting accordingly. So beyond being just in the Optimize A/B testing interface for reporting to understand what happened, you can pass or create segments in GA and look at other reports, other characteristics about those winning variants or users included within them. We've even gone further to incorporate session replay and heat mapping tools with those same segments of users seeing variant A or B or the original, so that we have even more visibility into really what happened. So Optimize shows the winner or not, Analytics can show even more historical data and characteristics, and then we can even watch the sessions themselves in session replay tools like SessionCam or ClickTail or what have you, all through this integrated ecosystem. I think this might be the last slide about the integrations, and it is certainly one of the more messy slides, I suppose, but wanted to give just one example. This doesn't cover all the use cases, if you will, but just a typical flow of how marketing can be powered with GA360. We say double click, that's technically Google Marketing Platform Solutions, but how it works. There's some platforms that bring users to the site. There's Analytics 360 Tag Manager that collects data as users interact. It's integrated with your CRM or backend to even integrate more. You can dump all that data into cloud or just use the tools themselves, run analysis models in Bigquery, Data Studio, and then I'll, of course, do personalized targeting, whether that's in advertising, Google Ads, DV360, Salesforce for email as a plug-and-play solution. You can connect to other systems, of course. It's just a little bit more custom, and you'd have to build that script with an engineer, with your engineering teams. And then, of course, re-engage. So as customers come back and re-engage with your brand and your websites and your platforms, you can connect that all the way through, beginning to end. So just a different way to look at that customer journey and the data flow between them. All right, so to wrap up the webinar, yeah, about 5 more minutes, kind of went quickly through those sections. Just gonna talk about the sharing capabilities and some next steps that we recommend when we work with organizations. Analytics 360 has lots of collaboration capabilities and features. There's a really robust user management system that you can have at the marketing platform suite level or within the tools themselves like Analytics 360. So you can basically create or give different levels of access from editing the different configuration and linking your different tools to just reading the reports, sharing the different configurations or like segments that might be created. You can even create user groups, and that's something that we're doing a lot with our clients because it's a relatively new feature of basically for different partner organizations or within an existing organization, maybe different departments that need different levels of access, grouping them together so it's really easy to add and remove users in the future versus one by one. There's also an API for management of access and permissions, and we use that a lot for our multi-brand, multi-site organizations as well. So if there's 1,000 sites and 1,000 GA properties that a new HQ team member needs access to manage or whatever, we can automate giving access to all of those or modifying different access levels as well. But even just the reporting, you know, almost every single report in Analytics 360 has a share button, export button, or some way to collaborate with others. And that's really where we find Analytics 360 is useful because it unifies teams, unifies departments. It's not measurement in a silo or analytics separate from media. Or it's really designed to bring users to or everyone together, talk about data, and be more data driven throughout the business. So in terms of getting started, I usually show this slide in my webinars as far as like a standard process to kicking off some kind of implementation or even an assessment of technology. So if you're using GA360, but you feel like you can get a lot more out of it in the marketing suite, this is some of the steps that we follow, basic project management. But we work a lot in this space with, you know, really complex organizations that might have one really large site, you know, top 10 e-commerce player in the US, or a multi-brand organization that has thousands of sites, and they need this setup and fully leveraging the capabilities across all their properties. These are the steps that we typically follow to engage with that. We create project plans. I definitely recommend if you're thinking about deploying Analytics 360 or how to use it better, or even just explore if it's right for you, coming up with a sequence of steps to transformer analytics, that's important there. This is just rudimentary screenshot of some of our project planning. But it comes back to, you know, earlier I mentioned the 6 Ps of digital analytics transformation, purpose, people, processes, platforms to drive pace and payoff. But a big part of that is understanding where does your organization lie today. This is something that we've shown to almost all of our clients on a regular basis to benchmark and see how are we progressing to be more advanced in our digital analytics maturity. So, you know, based on earlier when I was sharing all the advanced audience integrations and sharing and customer lifetime value that, you know, might fall in the data science forecasting run cycle, if you don't have the basic architecture, data collection, and governance in place, you can't get to, you know, some of these advanced capabilities. Analytics 360, though we show it here as a walk capability, you know, GA360 license, it can really help across all of these stages. Same with the marketing platform. Tag manager, getting a tag management system, part of governance and architecture. integrating your tools together. I mean, that's really the foundational activities needed to drive that activity of being able to predict and forecast and be preemptive with your marketing versus always reactive as well. So this is how we look at bucketing different organizations that we work with and building that plan to get them where they need to be. I have only a minute, I think, before some people probably will drop off. So a quick spiel on how we as InfoTrust work with clients and partners. You can get Analytics 360 from Google, but with InfoTrust, you get some added account management and trainings and support, and really we work as partners. We want to take you through that journey, get you to the run phase, and really drive your business forward with the technologies. So to close, a couple shameless plugs for some upcoming events, then I'll hang around for questions. Check out our website for a lot more webinars that are in events, probably in a city nearby over the next couple months. So check out our website, InfoTrust.com. You can check Spring of GA360 as one URL, or just check out our roadshow as well. So I mentioned we have offices across the world, but we're also coming to a lot of cities across the US to present on similar topics and really understand and teach, the best practices around analytics and measurement and using the Google Marketing Platform. So check out our roadshow events as well, infotrust.com/roadshow-2019. And then I think I only have one more slide I'm gonna close down, which is my last shameless plug for just other events. So lots of shameless plugs, but here's my email. If you guys have more questions, apologies, I'm 1 minute over here, but yeah, thanks so much for joining. Hopefully this was helpful. Happy to continue the conversation, so feel free to reach out. But otherwise, have a great day, and we'll talk soon. So again, I'll hang out for a couple minutes, see if there's any questions coming in. Let's see, it might be some questions coming in. Okay, I do see some questions coming in, so apologies if I missed those. So James asks, you briefly mentioned ITP and GDPR. I'm in California and worried about CCPA. Guessing this would help us prepare for that too. Good question. So yes, CCPA is I'm gonna call it a slight variation of the same regulations, but coming to the US and specifically California, I think in 2020. We have lots of content and upcoming webinars and educational events around CCPA, what you need to do to prepare for it, what that means as far as cookie consent, user data, and how you can protect yourself, your business from hitting those fines, but also your customers from feeling that you might not be using their data appropriately. So GMP, Google Marketing Platform, really tag management and governance and that crawl phase activities, that's what would definitely help for CCPA. So yes, that to answer the question, but definitely check out our upcoming webinar. I think it's next week on CCPA. So check out either our website or taginspector.com. That's our product that works in the compliance and tag management governance space as well. So good question. Oh, good reminder, team member. We do have one more poll that I'm gonna launch, but while I take on more questions. So for those hanging around for me to answer the questions, throw this up there if you want to continue the conversation. Please feel free to reply. But let's see, what other questions can I answer? So from Rosa, are there many companies currently using the customer lifetime value that I showed? It's a good question. Many is I'm not sure how to define many. I will say most of our customers that are in the walk or run phase are about ready to do it. So a lot of organizations are not there yet, or they're trying to do some data science, predictive modeling, customer lifetime value, but they don't have the core foundational data collection in place yet, so it's not gonna work properly. I would say that more and more clients are looking to do customer lifetime value because they do have a clean and robust data collection in place, but it really is hard for me to say if many or majority. It's really across the board. It depends where they are in their maturity and in their journey. So let's see, we got a couple questions. So here's a question. How well does GA360 perform as a campaign management platform for top of funnel marketing initiatives? This requires tying integration with sources outside of Google's ecosystem. It's a good question. So So campaign management, specifically like running advertisement, Google Analytics 360 doesn't actually do that kind of management of campaigns. It's more for measurement. When users land on your website or app, or if they're interacting with platforms that integrate directly with GA. So to answer the question, GA360 is not really designed for campaign management or for top of funnel marketing like execution. It's still very usable for analysis of that if your goal is to get users to the site to learn more, to get more awareness. So their initial visit to your site and analyzing new users, new sessions, kind of that acquisition, not conversion, but just getting them interested in your brand. GA360 is equipped to do that type of analysis and build those funnels and help you analyze. I think Campaign Manager, Search Ads 360, and other tools in the marketing platform are exactly for that purpose. Campaign management, top of funnel, brand awareness, and really getting that reach. Those tools are very, very equipped for that. For sources outside of the Google ecosystem, it depends on the use cases that you have, but for sure, like I mentioned before, Campaign Manager, Search Ads 360, those are designed to not only publish to Google channels like Google Ads or on the display network, but tap into other channels and other media that you can also be launching. So those tools are designed to tap into other sources. GA360 is designed for measurement of other sources or for users that interact with your website or app, and you can bring in other metrics accordingly as well. Cool, so let's see here. I'll answer one more question since we're 5 minutes over. Greg asked, do you get Optimize 360 with the purchase of Analytics 360 or is that separate subscription? It's a good question. It is a separate agreement to get Google Optimize 360. You can in fact get it by itself and use a different measurement analytics platform altogether. However, there's incentives financially and through capability to get Optimize 360 and GA360 together. So you can quote unquote bundle it for a discount for the first year through a reseller, especially like us. But you can buy them separately, and they are technically different contracts and agreements with the reseller or Google, even though there might be a discount applied for bundling it with GA360 at the same time. So good question. Okay, so I think that's all of the questions. And I think I covered all the answers. So let me know if there's anything else. Again, let me stop the poll. You guys can check out my email there on the last slide, so reach out. But check out our handouts, our future events. Thank you so much. Looking forward to having you guys in the future. Have a great day. Thank you.